Hello, friends. Thanks for joining me today. And I just wanted to follow up from last week with a couple of thoughts more on forgiveness. And I'd just been going down this rabbit hole on forgiveness. And I came across this really amazing process that I'm going to try for the next 7 days. And maybe you might be interested in trying it with me. But I wanted to follow up last week's video with a couple more thoughts on forgiveness. And one of them is the thought came to me about when you cringe. Like if you have this moment where you're just doing the dishes or something, say, and this thought, this old memory comes up and, you cringe and at the old version of you who did that or made that mistake or whatever perceived thing is, and you kind of cringe. And what I've heard recently, that shaking your head off, you kind of shake it off, you cringe and and I do that still, and I know it's not uncommon, but it just was a reminder to me that that memory is still in my nervous system. And, not every memory that comes up needs to have a process around it. But, maybe when you cringe about something from the past, it could use a process around it. And so I'm going to try this process I'm going to mention at the end of the video. But I wanted to finish off with one more thought on forgiveness. And it was how we think about how if you've forgiven someone before and you've let it go and it's all good, but you don't have that same grace to give to yourself, and that's painful to accept. So I really suggest working on this, to be able to let go of this stuff and make room for bigger and better stuff to come in as we let these things go. We close the door on them. We open the door to fresh new memories, that don't hold this pain and grief and etc. So while I was going on this rabbit hole of watching different videos on forgiveness, someone that I was watching on a topic recommended her coach, and I've only watched 2 videos, but the second one blew my mind, and it's mostly about this process. It's a long video, but I will link it below. But she just blew my mind with some of the things she said, and something that we have in common. Anyhow, she calls it a spell. And she has a book on, this is one of her spells in her book, but it's a process on forgiveness, and it's a 7-day process where each day you write 77 statements on forgiveness. And she recommends doing it at high noon, which is such a beautiful idea because she says, it's high noon when the sun is the strongest, and you want to put light on these topics. And what a cool idea. And I don't know if that's realistic for me, but if it is on any of these days, I'm going to definitely do it at high noon and writing out these 77 statements of forgiveness. And she says, anything can come out from, stealing a cookie in the 3rd grade. And I just think it's going to be really powerful. And she says, beware of resistance, because she said when she went to do these things, she got so sleepy, at noon, and when there was really no reason for it. So the mind wants to give you a way out, but so I'm going to take her words and follow through and see what happens, and I will report back. And just to finish with these, at the end of every 7 days, you want to release these statements out onto the earth or into the earth. And I think it's such a beautiful idea for any of those of you who live by the ocean to be able to release them into the ocean, tearing them up into tiny pieces and releasing them to the ocean. One day I will practice this in the ocean, but for now, I love tearing mine up into pieces and making them burn in a fire. But I'm going to try one of these other suggestions. She mentioned throwing them or flushing them down the toilet as a water, as a force of water, of letting them go. In water, fire, earth, yes, ocean. So I'm going to give it a shot, and I'm so excited to see what comes out of this. If I have any big ahas, or if I just feel so much better in the end. And I'll get back to you next Mindset Monday when we turn something else around in our mind and change our mindset. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.